Meeting is now streaming.
Okay.
Mayor, let me just read the notice.
I am making this
Emergency caused by coronavirus. The mayor and borough council meetings will conduct all council meetings remotely and by electronic means without providing a physical meeting place. Additionally, while the council will continue to meet on their regularly scheduled meeting dates, please note the time for the work sessions has been changed to a new commencement time of 6 p.m. The regular council meeting will continue to commence as soon as possible after the work session in accordance with NJSA 10:4-6, the Open Public Meetings Act, in adherence with the Department of Community Affairs, Division of Local Government Services guidelines. The work session and the regular council meeting will be open to the public by electronic means. And as such, members of the public may view the meeting by live stream on YouTube at Kenilworth TV NJ. Agendas will be posted for the public's viewing on the borough's official website at www.kenilworthnj.com. Any member of the public wishing to participate in the meeting can do so by emailing comments relative to the agenda and/or on any governmental issue a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the borough at the borough clerk at kenilworthnj.org no later than noon of the corresponding meeting date, and is, as always the case, must include the public member's full name, address, and the topic which the comments are being referred for the record. All relevant comments received will be read into the record during the regular meeting. Public comment portion will be addressed accordingly.
Thank you. I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Publics Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. Borough Clerk is prepared to schedule the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2020. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune. Maintaining a copy of this schedule for office during the year 2020. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cesari?
Here.
Councilman Clemente is excused. Councilman David?
Here.
Councilman Ladati is excused. Councilman Lopez?
Here.
And Councilman Shelby.
Here.
Has everyone had the opportunity to read over the agenda?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Reminder, council is in summer session. This is the last meeting until August 26th. And the reports, I'm pleased to let everyone know that we have no new coronavirus infections in Kenilworth in the past 2 weeks. Kenilworth still has 153 cases. I am grateful for this decline in positive tests in our borough. There are 16,340 cases in Union County and 175,000 cases in New Jersey. While we appear to be flattening the curve in New Jersey, there are other states where the virus is spiking with incredibly high infection rates daily. There are 19 states on travel advisory. Please take caution, be socially responsible, and self-quarantine for 14 days if you travel to any of these hotspot states. Our playgrounds have finally reopened in the borough. I hope everyone is enjoying them once again. Please be mindful of high-touch areas and keep your hands clean. I hope everyone enjoyed the 4th of July with your family and your friends. Sadly, our fireworks as well as our carnival were canceled this year. A borough celebration that we all really enjoy. Definitely looking forward to both of these annual traditions next year. Kenilworth census is counted in at 74.6%. Please take a moment to count yourself in. I'd like to thank everyone who has taken the time to do so and urge those who haven't to please take care of that if you can. Would also like to extend gratitude to our first responders, our police, our fire, our rescue. You're all appreciated, and I'm very grateful to all of you and all that you do for the borough. And please be kind and safe, everyone. Thank you. With that, I'll move on to the finance report. Councilman Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for taking their time and voting yesterday and mail-in votes as well. Finance Chairman report as of July 8th, 2020. So that Finance and Tax Office is now open. Third quarter property tax payments are now being accepted in person between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Due date to make your payment is August 1st with a grace period of August 10th. Otherwise, interest will be accrued back to the 1st. The Finance and Tax Office has been very busy since we opened. Residents have been visiting to make payments, complete property tax freeze forms, and ask general questions. The office reminds visitors to make sure you wear your mask and follow the social distancing markers when waiting for assistance for your safety and the safety of others. Reminder that $1 and the $1.05 fee that for using the borough's electronic check is now credited to the taxpayers for the following quarter tax bill during this corona pandemic. Tonight, the mayor and council will be introducing an ordinance for the 2020 capital budget. A list has been provided to the mayor and the council for their information. Thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman Lopez. Department of Public Works, David.
All right, thanks, Mayor. The only thing I'm going to discuss is yesterday was the first day of Kenilworth DPW actually taking over recycling. They started with the north side. Took a little longer than they were expecting. It was 11 man hours total, so they were here till like 6 o'clock last night. It was 4 truckloads of stuff, which equaled 20.32 tons. So basically they went around, they filled the trucks up once around 11 o'clock. They had to go unload both trucks, come back, and they filled them up again. There was 6 men total, 3 on each truck, each man 3 hours overtime because they worked till 6 o'clock to finish. Next week, when they do the south side, which is on the 24th, they're requesting to start at 5:30 to get an early start to that, which I don't see a problem with it. I guess until we get this worked out, we might incur some overtime. One of the issues was that people were putting out recyclables in plastic bags. So the guys were ripping the bags open, which causes problems. Also, everybody was putting out pizza boxes again, and they had to take them out because they're dirty, and people are like complaining already on the website about pizza boxes and stuff like that. So I actually asked Derek about what the cost is per ton, and to do dirty recycling, which is basically they just take everything. There's no sorting through anything. Just take it, throw it in a truck, is $105 per ton. Clean recycling, which causes most of the issues with them having to separate things, is $98 per ton. So for $7 per ton, it's going to take extra time. And I don't see why we should just go with take everything that they put out for recycling. Dirty boxes, bags, throw them in a truck, and then they get rid of them, and it's $105 per ton. Otherwise, I guess it looked pretty good as far as the north side. When I went for my bike ride, I went through a lot of streets, and a lot of stuff was picked up. Like I said, there were bags that were left on the street because they were advised if stuff's in a bag, instead of ripping it open, just leave them at the curb. And they put stickers on them that the stuff can't be in bags. So that's where we're at as far as the north side went. They got everything done, but like I said, it took 11 hours. I'm pretty sure the private company that we had, they would come in and they would stay till 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, and they had more trucks than we had. So that's all I got.
Hey, Mark, how many tons was it again?
20.32. So it's
20 tons?
Yeah, 20 tons, 0.32. It's like $2,300 or $2,100 or something.
Yeah, but the $7, that would be less than $200 additional, correct?
Well,
But if we did 20 tons and it's $7 a ton to have dirty instead of clean.
No. Well, yeah.
So we're talking about a difference of less than $200, and we're certainly going to spend that in overtime. So I would absolutely think we should take dirty recycling.
Yeah, the
It's
dirty
always going to
recycling.
be an issue. People are going to put pizza boxes out even when they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Yep.
So realistically,
Gonna
the dirty recycling is the way to go.
Yeah.
So I need to know if we can agree on that, then I can let them know down there next week, just take everything. There's no separating stuff, just throw everything out and we'll go from there.
I think that no matter what we do, people are going to put out dirty recycling.
Of course,
No matter
yes.
how memos go out.
I know, but if the guys are still working on the fact that we are not going to take it, they got to separate it. So
Well, I
they
think
need to
we
know.
should take it. I think.
All
we
right,
should
so
take it.
I make a motion that we decide whether we take dirty recycling. I guess, I don't know. Do I need to make a motion on that or what? I don't know.
I think it's a policy decision, so I don't, it's within your purview, Chairman.
There you go.
Oh, I can make the decision? Wow, okay.
There you go.
Well, we're going to get dirty then.
There you go. For $200.
I'm done.
Right. Thank you, Councilman David. Department of Public Safety, is there a report?
Yes, I have that report, so I will read that one.
Excellent. There you go.
You'll be tired of hearing from me soon. All right, for the month of June, there were 1,425 calls for service, 195 calls through 911, and 36 summonses for the month of June. I guess here it has June 22nd, middle school graduation. That it must have happened on the 22nd, June 23rd, the high school graduation. Chief Zimmerman would like to extend his appreciation for Kenilworth residents' vigilance and remaining alert for individuals burglarizing and stealing unlocked motor vehicles within the borough. Since the last council meeting, there have been no vehicles entered nor stolen because residents are locking their vehicles. Please keep locking your vehicles, doors, remove valuables, and do not leave your key fob or keys in your vehicle. Please report anyone lifting up on door handles, car door handles, to the Kenilworth Police Department immediately when observed. And then one other thing, on July 2nd, a Kenilworth resident purchased a puppy online using Apple iTunes gift cards, vanilla gift cards, and his PayPal account as payment. The transaction was fraudulent, so he lost out on the dog and lost his money. Residents are reminded to be skeptical when a credit card which offers you protection isn't requested for an online web purchase, and to avoid these types of scams. And that's all I got.
Okay.
Councilman, with the clarification, the police chief just told me that graduation was July, not June. Sorry for the typo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. Oh, so the graduation's July 23rd and July 22nd?
22nd and 23rd, yes.
Oh, all right. Then I'll read. All right. So then July 22nd, the middle school graduation is at 10 a.m. by ticket only. Ticket allotment per student is 2 apiece. Then July 23rd, high school graduations, 10 a.m. by ticket only. Ticket allotment per student is 2 apiece. Okay. Because they had June, so there was no sense of reading it, I thought. All right,
Okay.
that's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Councilman David. Planning and zoning, Councilman Shalky.
Thank you, Mayor. You're not going to believe it, but tonight I have no report. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Councilman Shalky. Recreation and Fire, Councilwoman Cesari.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation, we've come a long way now, getting everything in order because of, the social distancing. But we are going to be doing crafts/activities at the Mario starting Tuesday, the 14th of July. Spaces will be limited for social distancing. Registration will be required through Community Pass on a first-come, first-served basis for Kenilworth residents only. Details and registration will be posted on the Facebook page. Most of the activities will require a parent or guardian to attend and participate with the child and/or children, especially for the younger children. However, it's 1 parent or guardian per child max. Activities will be from 1 to 2 hour sessions, depending on the craft.
Councilwoman Cesari, I think we lost you, if you can hear
Days
us.
and times may vary.
Oh, there we go.
Days and times may vary depending on the weather and will be posted weekly. The rec needs to purchase, this is another thing, they need to purchase a thermometer for temperature taken and precautions. We need to look into one of those gun kind of thermometers, and because they have to, take temperatures of the kids before they're able to enter, and the parents who accompany them. So we're, in, I guess, need of a thermometer. They're hard to get, but I told Kristen I'd look into it. Okay, that's all I have for rec. For fire, the fire department in June responded to the following calls, 32 calls. And they traveled 91 miles and 119 man hours were used. The rescue squad responded to 56 calls, traveled 657 miles, and utilized 140 man hours. So the total calls for the month for the fire and rescue came to 88. That's gone down considerably from our past, I guess you might say 3 months or 90 days, however you want to, put that in. As you know, everybody knows the fireworks were canceled, and unfortunately, if you haven't heard, the carnival will be canceled this year. Our annual thing, and it's gonna kind of hurt, but we'll get by. Hopefully everything will be resumed next year, and we can continue. And that's all I have for fire and rec. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ciceri. Health, education, and welfare. Does anyone have a report for Councilman Ladati?
I'm sorry, I do not. He did not pass along an.
Okay.
I did not hear from him. I didn't know he was out. Sorry.
I didn't either.
Okay. Okay, we'll move along to the borough engineer, Mr. Gallerano.
All right, you're good. Switch seats. Thank you, Mayor. I only have 2 items. First, we took bids for the South 18th Street drainage improvements, which was a detention system to try to correct that drainage problem at the cul-de-sac. We did get a big response. The bids ranged from the low of 83,000 to a high of 372,000. So the numbers are all over the place. We did recommend 80,000 for budget amount, so I know it was a little bit over. There is another part to this. While this was going on, the owner had contacted us and asked if we could meet her and her contractor at the site, because she had, and her contractor had an idea to do something on their own. It looks like it's not a bad idea. They would like to create kind of a swale along the easement, just lower it a little bit and kind of create a storage area where, in a rainfall that could kind of act like a little detention basin. And then when the rain stops, it could just kind of dissipate into the pipe that runs along the easement. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't see any downside to letting them do that. It really wouldn't have any impact on borough property or anybody's property. It really would only impact their own property, and it could be of a benefit. So it may not, again, it may be a good idea to let them try that, then see how that works, and then maybe reevaluate this down the road to see how well that works.
So Tony, that's us giving them permission to do work in the easement there,
Yes, correct.
and everything they're going to do is on their dime, not our dime.
Correct. They would just, they would have to have permission because of the easement, but it's their property, just that the borough has the easement. So, and again, it really wouldn't affect the easement. It's really would have no impact. And again, it can only improve. It can't do any harm.
And it's not going to adversely affect any of the neighbors with runoff or anything like that?
No. I mean, they'll have to give us a plan and they'll have to file for a grading permit. We'll go through the review. But when I looked at it, what they were explaining conceptually looked feasible. Looks like it could have some positive effect. I don't think it's a cure-all, but if they're willing to do this and it does have some positive effect, then maybe we see what it does and we can then reevaluate this down the road if it doesn't have any significant effect.
I would agree with that.
And they're not even asking. They're not asking for any money from us to help them out.
They didn't indicate. I mean, what they indicated, they were going to, her contractor was going to take care of it. She didn't indicate to me that she was looking for anything from the borough. I could verify that with her, but I mean, obviously they're going to have to
I hate to say it, if it works and, you know, what we were gonna looking to do, I can't see why we wouldn't try to help them out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any downside to letting them do it. It's, if it works, or at least gives them enough relief where their property becomes more usable, then maybe we don't need to do the bigger project.
Can I just ask a question? Mark, helping them
Yeah.
out as far as what their contractor had suggested, helping them out, the town helping them out?
Well, my suggestion is that, I mean, financially, I mean, these people have been put to the test over the years. And we were gonna spend up to 40 grand or a little more to try to rectify it. So now if their own contractor is gonna rectify it and they're going on our easement, which technically is our property, then maybe we try to help them out somehow.
Yeah, it's been, I agree. It's been a
I
while.
mean, because I'm sure it's gonna cost them 20 grand or, you know, something like that. It's not gonna be cheap.
It's probably going to be around 20. He's going to put together, he wanted to first see if it was feasible, and then he'll put together an estimate. So I can get the estimate from him and come back next meeting and let you know. what we're looking at.
Yeah, that would be good, because I can't see them eating a $20,000 bill when it's our problem that's creating their issue.
It's taken quite a while, so
Yeah,
I really, you know, I think these people have been very, very patient.
yeah, they have. They really have. So that would be my recommendation.
I agree with you, Tony. I mean, if you think there's no other damage that could be done or whatever, it would only help the situation. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't see any downside to it. It can only help. So I'll let them know to put together a plan and estimate, and then I could report back next meeting and let you know what they came up with.
Sounds
Great.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, and I just have one other item. A resident at 441 North 15th Street, which is the last house on the right, just before North 15th makes that sharp bend to go to North 14th. They put in a request to replace a retaining wall, and they kind of have like a pillar at the end of the driveway, which is actually in the borough right away. If you drove by, you wouldn't think it was, but just the way that curve is configured, a good portion of the retaining wall is in the right of way. So this doesn't really fall under a typical road opening permit. They're usually road opening permits for utilities and things that the utility company has blanket easements where they can do the work in the right of way. This really falls under what's like an encroachment permit, or they call like a occupancy permit. The borough doesn't have a formal process for that, but I believe that any work or any structure or anything built in the right of way would require approval from the council. Again, it's not a typical road opening, and it is just a replacement of what's there, but it is going to be a structure that will be rebuilt in the right of way. So I think it would need approval from council, even though we don't have a formal process for it. It is going to be an occupancy in the right of way. So I'm not sure what the mechanism is for that, but I don't think I can't approve it just as like a road opening permit like we typically do for the utility companies.
Do we need an ordinance for that?
I didn't hear you.
Do we need an ordinance for that or a resolution? Or
Probably, yeah. I think you probably would need a resolution. You would probably need to have a vote and a resolution. Then we could give it that. Then the zoning officer in the construction department can then issue the permits. Because again, it really doesn't fall under a road opening, I don't think. So.
Okay.
And we don't get a lot of these. This is the first one that's come across my desk in 5 years, so it's not like we get a lot of them. But I believe it's the correct way to handle it.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yep.
Okay, and that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Tony.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Tom.
CFO, Mr. Diorio.
Thank you, Mayor. As Councilman Lopez said earlier, tonight is the introduction of the 2020 capital budget. A list was submitted to the members of the governing body for their review and for information. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. On a smaller note, Amazon has now opened their doors to working with local governments. We've informed all of our employees that this opportunity is available. We've set up an account with Amazon and we are ready to go. There are some safeguards in place so that an employee cannot just arbitrarily just call and put in an order. There still will be required a purchase order that has to be obtained from our office. So at the end of the day, we have other purchasing options. And I think having Amazon being one of them goes a long way to help us.
That's great.
And that concludes my report.
I don't love Amazon. It'll be helpful for a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we find that a lot of times we can't find anything that we can get quickly. And this not only will save us on taxes, but purchasing power too. So I think this will be a great help. And it's actually something that the CFOs in Union County had shared through an email. And fortunately, we all stay networked and it seems like everyone is jumping on board.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
idea.
for sure. Yeah.
And that concludes my report.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Mr. D'Iorio. Mr. Capis, Borough Attorney.
Mayor, 4 points. Number one, and I know some of the governing body are aware of these facts, we have entered into a settlement regarding the Galveston. We have withdrawn 2 pending matters. The Galveston has put on the record that because of COVID-19, they will no longer be conducting business and that they will in fact be moving to sell their liquor license. Number 2, Mayor, we had a discussion with Mr. O'Brien regarding affordable housing. The essence of the issue is that an escrow account for the money that the borough officials are going to spend that the developer must pay with has to be established. We've spoken to both the engineer and the council. Once that escrow account is set up, that in essence sets into effect the ability of our officials to study the proposal. I consider that a positive, not a negative. Number 3, and I know Mr. David's aware of this, we have reached, we have an understanding with the Department of Public Works regarding their contract. I know the pertinent issue, it's a 2% raise. That contract will be on the next Borough Council's agenda, along with an MOU. Hopefully we can do both the same evening. And finally, I received a letter from the head of the municipal courts for Union County. They are moving aggressively to bring all court sessions in municipal court back together, whether they be online or in person. Without being crude, that's very important because it's a great source of revenue. I anticipate that we'll start to see increased activity, and it's not a criticism because I know I've heard from other members of the bar how our prosecutor has worked so diligently to move the calendar, and I think we look good because of his efforts. But those are my 4 points. Obviously, Mayor, I'm available for any questions from here.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Capis?
Not have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Mr. Capis. You as well. Borough Clerk.
We are looking at having our next meeting in person. And the next meeting, now that we're in summer session, the next meeting is not going to be until August 26th. Because COVID is still, and the pandemic is still in effect, we're going to continue with the 6 o'clock and then rolling right into. So we will keep moving with that. Let's see, Borough Hall has reopened. We opened the doors to the public. Things seem to be going well. We had what I guess you would call a soft opening. We didn't really put any announcements out there because we just wanted to kind of see how things played out, and they've been coming in slowly and steadily. And with that in mind, and with the increasing of the zoning officers' hours, the construction office will be beginning their evening hours again because we haven't had those in months. With that is all I have.
I have a question.
Yes,
The August 26th meeting, will that be in person or by Zoom?
it will be in person. If we have any council members who are not quite comfortable with it, or for whatever reason, maybe they need to quarantine. I think it's going to be a hybrid. We will have people here, but anybody who does not wish to come for whatever reason, we will have the Zoom going as well.
Okay.
Are we able to social distance there during the meeting? Can we set that
Yes.
up?
What we'll do is we'll have a few people up here. It's gonna look a little different. The tables that the deputy clerk and that the attorney currently sit at, I will have council members down there, just so we can all distance ourselves.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like a motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Tsiri, seconded by Shelkey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
In the comments, the COVID-19 emergency protocol, no emails were received from the public.
Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Shelkey, seconded by Councilman Lopez. All
Aye.
in- Other than the dogs, does anyone else have anything else to add?
No.
I'm good. Okay, if there's nothing else to add, I'll enter, or to be brought before the borough, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilman Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I think we're gonna roll. Is this good? Does anyone want to take a break, or we'll just roll right into the council meeting?
Roll.
Okay. Okay. Are we rolling, Laura? Do you need to
Yes,
do the
ma'am.
COVID?
Right into the Open Public Meetings Act.
Okay, I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2020. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of the schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall. It has mailed 2 copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of the schedule in her office during the year 2020. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regards to this meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Tsiri? Councilman Clementi is excused. Councilman David?
Here.
Here.
Councilman Dottie is excused. Councilman Lopez?
Here.
And Councilman Shelkey.
Here.
Great. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the June 24th, 2020 council meeting?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilman Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Various advisories were received from the New Jersey State League of Municipalities. Janitorial service proposal was received from the Friendship House. A letter of appreciation was received from historian Walter Bowright. An inquiry was received from the Koenigs at 100 South 18th Street, and the department reports were received for the month of June.
Okay, is there a motion to accept communications?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilwoman Tsiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have an announcement that council will be going into summer session, and our next council meeting will be August 26th. Also, I'm pleased to let everyone know that we have no new coronavirus cases of infections in Kenilworth in the past 2 weeks. Kenilworth still has 153 cases. I'm grateful for this decline in positive tests in our borough. There are 16,340 cases in Union County and 175,000 cases in New Jersey. While we appear to be flattening the curve in New Jersey, there are other states where the virus is spiking with incredibly high infection rates. There are 19 states on travel advisory. Please take caution, be socially responsible, and self-quarantine for 14 days if you travel to any of these hotspot states. Our playgrounds have reopened in the borough. I hope everyone is enjoying them once again. Please be mindful of high-touch areas and please keep your hands clean. I hope everyone enjoyed the 4th of July with your family and friends. Sadly, our fireworks as well as our carnival have been canceled. A Barrow celebration that we all really enjoy and look forward to. I know I'll be looking forward to it even more so next year. Kenilworth census is counted in at 74.6%. Please take a moment to count yourself in if you haven't done so already, and I thank everyone that has already filled it out. And I would like to extend gratitude to all our first responders in the borough. You are appreciated, and I am grateful to all of you. And please be kind and safe, everyone. Thank you. Finance report, Councilman Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Finance Chairman report as of July 8th, 2020. Finance and tax office is now open. Third quarter property tax are now being accepted in person between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Due date to make your payment is August 1st with a grace period of August 10th. Otherwise, interest will be incurred back to the 1st. The finance and tax office has been very busy since we opened. Residents have been visiting to make payments, complete property tax freeze forms, and ask general questions. The office reminds visitors to wear a mask and follow the social distancing markers when waiting for assistance in line for your safety and the safety of others. Reminder that the $1.05 fee for using the borough's electronic check is now credited to the taxpayers following quarter tax bill during the coronavirus pandemic. Tonight, the mayor and council will be introducing an ordinance for our 2020 capital budget. And this has been provided to the mayor and council for your information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Lopez. Department of Public Works, Councilman David.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I'm going to discuss is yesterday was the first day of the Kenilworth DPW actually taking over the recycling. They did the north side. It took 11 man hours total to do the whole town, the whole north side. It was 2 trucks out there, 3 men on each truck. One of the issues was they're working under doing clean recycling, which means residents are not allowed to use plastic bags to put the recyclables in, or pizza boxes, whether it's 1 ounce of oil or whatever. It's considered dirty, so they won't take it. And I've seen there was a couple of complaints about pizza boxes not being taken. But to alleviate this issue from now on, next week when they do the south side, which is 714, they're going to do dirty recycling, which means they will take everything in plastic bags, pizza boxes, whatever. So they won't spend as much time trying to separate things, which should lower the man hours and hopefully take away some overtime that they were doing yesterday. And they're going to start at 5:30 in the morning to get started early, get it going. And that's it. That's all I got for DPW.
Okay, thank you, Councilman David. Department of Public Works, Public Safety.
All right, I got that one too, so I'll just keep talking. All right, so for the month of June, there were 1,425 calls for service, 195 calls through 911, and 36 summonses for the month of June. July 22nd is the middle school graduation. Starts at 10 a.m. by ticket only. Ticket allotment is 2 per student, or per student is a 2-piece, just 2 a piece. July 23rd is the high school graduation. Same time, 10 a.m. it'll start, ticket only. Ticket allotment is per student, and you get 2 per student. Chief Zimmerman would like to extend his appreciation for Kenilworth residents' vigilance and remaining alert for individuals burglarizing and stealing unlocked motor vehicles within a borough. Excuse me. Since the last council meeting, there have been no vehicles entered nor stolen because residents are locking their vehicles. Please keep locking your vehicles, doors, remove valuables, and do not leave your key fob or keys in your vehicle. Please report anyone lifting up on car door handles to the Kenilworth Police immediately when observed. The only other incident was on July 2nd. A Kenilworth resident attempted to purchase a puppy online using Apple iTunes gift cards, vanilla gift cards, and his PayPal account as payment. The transaction was fraudulent, so the resident didn't get the dog, lost his money. And he wants to remind residents to be skeptical when a credit card, which offers you protection, isn't requested for an online web purchase, and to avoid these types of scams. And that's all I have for public safety.
Okay, thank you, Councilman David. Planning and zoning, Councilman Shelkey.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report tonight. We do have one thing on the agenda for planning and zoning, and it's an ordinance that just tidies up our fees and fines. There was a number of redundancies in our current book, and so we tidied that up, and we'll be passing that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shelkey. Recreation and Fire, Councilwoman Cesari.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation. We are going to begin crafts and/or activities at DeMario starting on Tuesday, July 14th. Space will be limited for social distancing. Registration will be required through Community Pass. It's a first come, first served basis for Kenilworth residents only. Details and registration will be posted on the Rec Facebook page. And most activities will require a parent or guardian to attend and participate with the child or children, especially for the younger children. The ratio is 1 parent or guardian per child. Max. Activities will be held 2 sessions from 1 to 2 hours. There will be one in the morning and one in the afternoon. The days and times may vary depending on the weather and will be posted weekly. That is all I have for the recreation. For fire, I received a report from Chief Kruger, and the fire department responded to the following 32 calls in the month of June. The rescue squad responded to 56 calls, and the total calls for the month equaled 88, which is way down from what we have been in the past couple months. So things seem to have simmered a little bit, but just be cautious and just take the precautions you need to take. Everybody stay safe. And that's all I have for the fire department and the recreation department. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cesari. Health, Education, and Human Services. Does anyone have a
I
report?
don't have a report from Councilman Ladati.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next for council consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Cesari, seconded by Councilman Shelkey. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolutions 1 to 14 are listed on the consent agenda and will be enacted by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman Clementi is excused. Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Ladati is excused. Councilman Lopez?
Yes.
And Councilman Shelkey.
Yes.
I have an ordinance this evening for introduction. Ordinance 2020-07, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, and a new automotive vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment, in by and for the Borough of Kenilworth in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,245,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate a state grant to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to provide financing for the capital budget plan. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance for introduction?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilwoman Cesari. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be it hereby resolved that the ordinance 2020-07, entitled Bond Ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, and a new automotive vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment, in by and for the Borough of Kenilworth in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,245,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate a state grant to to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriations, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, heretofore introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on August 26, 2020, at 6 p.m. or as soon as thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the Borough Council, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in accordance with law. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman Clementi is excused. Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Ladati is excused. Councilman Lopez?
Yes.
And Councilman Shalky.
Yes.
That's all I have, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilman Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
In accordance with the meeting notice for the remote meetings during the COVID-19 public health emergency protocol, no emails were received from the public.
okay, if there's nothing to be brought for the public portion, can I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Tsiri, seconded by Councilman David. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything else to add?
Just, hey, when is the farmer's market starting? Does it start already or?
It's supposed to be July 11th, correct?
Oh, okay. All right.
Starting in
curious.
July.
Okay.
I just have a question. I had a resident, I guess I'll direct this to you, or I had a resident who asked me how he could get bonded. And I don't know how. I was wondering if you did.
Bonded as insurance?
Yeah, as in he has to be bonded for a job. Yeah. I guess it's fingerprints, background, so on and so forth. Does he have to go to, is there a company that bonds people, or does he have to go to the police department? I mean, I don't know.
Have them give me a call tomorrow, and I'll put them in touch with who they need to speak with.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else to be brought before the borough?
Mayor, if I could, I just wanted to let everybody know that right now, the food pantry is running very low. And right now, I do know that they only accept donations during certain times, and as does the rec department. I want to offer that the Borough Hall is open. We have 2 collection boxes to the left of the elevator on the first floor. Borough Hall is open 24/7 if they come in through the blue door on 23rd Street. If anybody wants to drop anything off, we'd be more than happy to get it over to the food pantry.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, if there's nothing else to be brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilman Shalky. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
You too.
Good evening.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.